Empty shelves, supply chain issues, not being able to find groceries at your grocery store to feed your families. And if you're getting a little bit worried about that kind of thing, I found something that is so cool. It is going to change all of the supply chain issues. We'll be able to get food on our tables with no issues at all, and probably help save the planet a little bit as well. So hang on to your hats and I'll show you what it's all about. I am in front of a Freight Farms shipping container hydroponic garden. And what's super cool about them is they are trying to change farming by eliminating the supply chain issues by creating a sustainable way to grow food year-round in basically any climate. They have these shipping containers in Alaska. If you can grow stuff in Alaska where it snows like 13 months of the year, you can basically do it anywhere. Freight Farms is trying to reduce agriculture's impact on the planet, growing food that is more flavorful and nutritious with 99% less water, 99% fewer food miles, and 0 soil waste. That's something I can get behind. Freight Farms' container farms like this make it possible to move the means of production to any place in the world instead of transporting the final grown product. The result is a more stable global supply chain, increased self-sufficiency within communities, and a final product of superior quality. Speaking of superior quality, I want to go get my hands on some of that superior quality basil right now. You guys, this is one of the coolest things I have ever seen. We're going to take a look at all of this stuff, how it works, and I even have a special guest today that you have seen before. It is my brother, Steven. He thinks this is so cool. He actually wants to buy one of these. So this is my brother, Steven. He is younger and he is married. So don't ask in the comments if he is single. I get that every time.
For good reason. I mean, when you're like 190 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal, this is what happens, you know?
Oh my gosh. So I'm talking to Steven about this hydroponic farm idea. He pulls up the website.
In fact, when you told me about it, I actually like emailed my banker like right then, and I was like, "Hey, would you let me buy one of these?"
Yeah. Would you loan me?
That's right. Would you loan me some money to get one of these things? This totally flips the whole thing on its head in a major way. And hydroponics are not new. Like, this is a technology that's existed for a really long time, but not quite like this. It's never been packaged in such a consumable, accessible way like you have here.
Sexy. Like, this is so cool.
Amazing.
So I'm here with James, who is the owner of this hydroponic garden right here and the owner of Homegrown Greens, which you can find on Instagram. I'll leave his information down below. What made you want to do it? Like, why this?
Went to college, graduated, and tried to buy a farm, and it kind of fell through. And I was kind of complaining to my brother, just like, you know, farming's so expensive, how can we get started and all this stuff. And he mentioned, you know, there are companies that build containers that you can farm with.
What types of things do you normally grow in here?
Yeah, so we grow varieties of lettuce and then some herbs and some greens. So lettuce is so we do some red butterheads and some bibs. Herbs we do, basil's probably our most popular. Just popping right out. You see the roots are all kind of wrapped up. That's kind of what you want to see.
Do you ever loosen the root ball at all?
I don't. And I'll space them out. The basil we're going to space out a little bit longer for the plants.
How long from seed to finished is this basil?
So the basil is about 60 days, so about 2 months. All of our lettuce is a little bit shorter. We do 8 weeks. So
8 weeks on the lettuce.
So
who do you sell to? Like, you grow the lettuces and the herbs, and you go farmers markets, you go restaurants. Who's your customer?
We do a few people here locally. We'll do local deliveries on Tuesdays to them. We were in the Ogden Farmers Market for summer and fall, and we kind of gained some customers there, and so we made a website and they can go and buy on our website, and we do pickups on Fridays for them. And then in Salt Lake, we're in the farmers market for the winter down there every Saturday. So you can see this is our main tank, and when it calls for water, it'll pull it up and it goes on the other side where it starts. It circles around on this great.
You have chard on this backside.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it comes out of the drip through this little cotton thing. That goes down here,
collects.
collects down at the bottom, and then goes back to the main tank.
Right back to the main tank.
How often do you have to put new water in?
When I'm at full production, which I'm only like half right now, but full production, I change the water out every month, and that's probably a little bit excessive.
Yeah.
But I like to change it out a little bit more often, just so I don't get an imbalance of nutrients.
Right.
Because some lettuces will use one type of nutrient more than others, and herbs will use some.
Different mix depending on what you're growing.
Yeah.
How much water, so when I go to like totally refresh it, how much water is going in there?
This is a 100-gallon tank.
It's nothing.
It's nothing.
Tank is 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
You used more in your showers last week,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I like a long shower.
I know. Yeah.
Look at that.
Easy peasy. Wow. Okay. So are we gonna go on the other side?
Yeah, we'll go on the other
okay.
side. So this is kind of our 7-week lettuce. We usually let it grow in 1 week more. And that last week they'll double, a little more than double in size.
Wow.
So you see these aren't super big.
So in another week, this is gonna.
Yeah, it'll be probably about that big.
Wow.
These red butter heads. Kind of reach from the bottom. I just grab that root plug just
Yeah.
kind of like that with
Yep.
my fingers, and I just pull it down. Pops right out.
And that's all it is.
That's all it is.
Wow.
So from the bottom, that's so easy.
So I got a package when I got here from Freight Farms, which is awesome. Lovely packaging. Grow food here. Oh, hey, it's a sweatshirt. Look at that.
It's a swag box.
It's a swag box. Here's a funny story. I grew up in high school in the 90s, and these hats, you were a loser. And so I've always had a hard time with them, like these flatter, you know what I'm talking about?
You had to have the
They had, I'm telling you, you had to bend them. You'd buy your baseball hat, and then you'd bend it and get it wet and wrap it in a rubber band overnight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You look great. That's a cool hat, actually.
Okay, sweet. Thank you, Freight Farms. Now I can represent. So how long have you had this?
We've been in business for a year, and kind of the hiccups of learning things. We're not making money yet, but we are right on the edge now with farmers markets and our customer base that's growing.
Most new businesses, when you start to turn a profit is about 2 years.
Yeah.
That's what Freight Farms said when I was talking to them. Most people's about 2 years unless you're in a really hot market, and then it's closer to a year. Are you thinking you're going to be at the 2-year mark? A little less?
We'll probably be around 1.5 to 2 years.
Okay, so pretty close, little under the 2-year mark, which is really good for a new business.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's delightful.
Let's do a double decker, like do one leaf
1 and 1
from each.
There's one of that one for you.
Okay.
Okay.
I think maybe I'm a triple here.
You're a triple? Okay. I'm going to grab that one right there.
So fresh. The texture is so like tender but crunchy at the same time. Really.
You nailed it.
Really
Tender but
good.
crunchy at the same time. Fabulous.
And then the rest of the day, we can have all these greens in our teeth when we smile. So that'll be
That's
fun.
why I do it. Okay, when it comes to the applications of one of these shipping containers, if you are interested in starting your own business, like James, you could do an entrepreneurial small business farm, which is kind of what he does. You could do corporate business. You could do retail stores, schools, and universities. I think is an awesome application. The university in my town actually already has a hydroponic tomato farm, but it's much, much smaller than this. And it's limited to the space of the tiny little greenhouse that they have. This would be able to expand widely the amount of produce that they grow at our university, which I think is really cool, and I feel like I need to talk to somebody about that. I think a container hydroponic farm like Freight Farms puts together can completely revolutionize the farming industry and help with a lot of the supply chain issues, empty shelves that we have been seeing. I think it's really good for the planet to use less soil, less water, less trucks and fuel being used to move things from one location to your grocery stores and then to your house. It's just there in your area and in your community. I think it is such a cool option. I know Steven is definitely looking into it to put on his land and possibly get started. I'm looking into it as a possible investment to do a farm to table restaurant situation kind of a thing. I think it's awesome. If you want to check out any information, I'll have it all down below in the doobly-doo. It's going to be Freight Farms website and information. And then also if you want to check out Homegrown Greens here in Tremont, Utah, those go to Salt Lake often for those farmers markets. I'll leave their information down below as well. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you next time. What I like is that they're so sturdy that they're fine. Yeah. And I'm gonna eat them today anyway, so there's that. You don't want to do that click, 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 click.